I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the High Fidelity After Show. Tonight, we will be covering the final two episodes of this season, 9 and 10. I am Trina Dong, but I couldn't possibly just talk to myself all night, so I have to my left the music man himself, Kenneth Ware.
Yes, and Kenneth is here to talk back to you.
Oh, yeah. Thank goodness for that. And then next to him, we've got an old school rock radio guru listener on our hands, Kevin Allen.
Yeah, podcasts are new to me, even though I'm on one.
Kevin's talking back as well.
Kevin, thank you for talking back.
You're welcome.
So, we have got a lot to talk about in these final two episodes. Tonight, we're going to talk about Rob's dirty 30th birthday. We're going to talk about the return of the Mac, yes, and we're going to talk about a lovely number, 9%. And we also have a great special segment, the final playlist of ours for the season, about some me time. And then we've got some news about predictions of will there won't be for season 2. So let's get into it, guys. What are your overall thoughts for 9 and 10?
Such a sad start to a historic landmark birthday. So that was a little of a downer. But we ended on a more upbeat note, kinda, I will say. Depending on how you look at it, the glass half full. Or,
Maybe just a note. Yeah.
Okay, they don't agree.
Kevin?
I'm just not a fan of embarrassment television. And episode 9 was so cringy.
Yeah.
I just, everything that happened, every next line was just something going, oh God, no, why did this bring up? To the point I'm actually it's so burned in my brain. I'm trying to remember what happened in episode 10 that wasn't devastating to Rob.
There we go. Well,
I thought of something. Yeah, there was a great final note with Charisse, and I'm really excited for that.
Oh, there we go. Well, there's a lot of stuff that we're going to cover. Since you blacked out, we're going to remind you of all the things.
There was so much drinking in episode 9, I couldn't help it.
So let's get into Rob's Dirty 30.
Yes.
So she was being a little crabby at the beginning of the episode, didn't want to do anything when Simon and Charisse were asking her to hang, and then we finally go get a drink, and she reveals it's her 30th to them.
Yeah, so she's been so busy researching her exes that she has forgotten about her 30th birthday. So, yes. And then also it was shown that what do you do when your friends, you don't have any friends that want to hang out with you. So that was going down that address book, calling people who you haven't talked to in ages. No. Bueno.
There was a theme that came up, especially in these last two episodes, that Rob has been so invested in the past and very specifically in her exes, and then even more specifically in Mac. Her head is so in that she's ignoring everything around her. She has no idea what's going on in her friend's life. She has no investment in her brother's anything with his milestone that's coming up. And then we kind of see with her own milestones in her own life, she's not even invested in.
Yeah.
Everything is an afterthought.
For sure. I also think there's a part of her that doesn't want to talk about herself. She doesn't want to be the center of attention on this day because everything is kind of trash for her at the moment. She doesn't have anything to boast about, doesn't have anything exciting because she's just kind of been losing her mind.
What's to celebrate?
Which is sad. But if she would stop focusing so much on the sad stuff.
Yes, I'm definitely not here for the Rob pity party.
We know.
No.
So she finally got someone to hang out with her. I would never in my life call people that I have not talked to from summer camp. She talked to someone from summer camp, and she's turning 30. Therefore, do the math. We're talking 18 years. Probably, since she spoke to someone. Yes. But she finally found someone, Tanya.
Yes.
I liked Tanya.
Yes. Tanya's fun. Tanya got her into the club. Tanya got her to skip the line at the club.
Yes. True. And so there wasn't
props to Tanya.
Exactly. They started to have some fun until a guy named Squid showed up.
Yes, who had previously obsessed over Tanya pre-baby and increased size of boobies.
Yeah, that's a thing that happens.
I think
Yeah.
that's kind of what say, but yes. Thank you.
Ryan?
But, but
It happens just like that too.
But obviously he had was under the influence a lot, and that recently entered, I guess, a rehab, or he stopped doing drugs, so he didn't even recall his stalkerage.
Yeah.
And great for him, honestly. But that Beverly's like, I made a lot of mistakes. One of them's right there. And
Sad.
it's like, stop.
She's just like,
everyone just stop talking.
Yeah, that was not fun. And so she gets a call from Clyde when she's at the club, and he wants to just talk. He doesn't know it's her birthday either. What do we think about that the screaming because you can't hear and what he's trying to say?
Just invite him to the club. Tanya can get him in. She already has the code phrase.
Yeah.
Let him join the party and fix this triangle of awkward that she's got going celebrating her 30th. Like, Clyde can fix anything. Just invite him in.
But she said, what was it? That she'll call him later?
As soon as she leaves the club.
Right, and he was in her neighborhood, so he stated that he would, just kind of hang around and wait for her, which he has been doing since episode 1.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Okay, so she spends her time at the club. She finally just leaves the club, but then she gets a phone call.
Yes.
From Mac.
The return of the Mac.
We don't have to return to him yet, but that's where she decided to leave the club and just be done with it, which I thought.
Did she get the call when she was in the club or when she was on her walking across the bridge after she had left?
I thought she had left the club and then got the call.
Exactly,
right?
because she left the club, still didn't call Clyde.
Right.
And then Mac chimes in, and so now she's definitely not going to call Clyde.
Okay, this is terrible. I do not want to talk about her being at the club anymore because it's driving me crazy.
Yeah, but my point is it'd be one thing if something interrupted her time at the club and that's why she forgot about her commitment to Clyde.
Yeah.
But she just straight up left and forgot it altogether.
Right.
And then Mac, she should have been hanging out with Clyde when Mac called.
Well, just more selfish behavior. Am I right?
Yes.
Right. She said, I do not want to be at the club anymore, and I couldn't possibly have anything else that I was supposed to do.
Literally walking
So I'm going to
home.
go walk outside.
Her dirty 30 ended up just being dirty. That was it.
Yeah.
That's it. But you know who's not dirty?
Our fans.
That's right.
We want to thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. Make sure you click like and subscribe if you're listening to us on iTunes. 5 stars. And let's get back to this music mess of high fidelity.
Ooh, drama.
That's nice.
All right,
Yeah.
so
Mac calls.
Mac calls. We're going into the return of the Mac. He calls, knows it's her birthday. He's the only one, I think, her mom knew it earlier. But other than her mom, he's the only one, and then asks her for a drink. And she just goes, okay.
It's like, where's Lily? She's out of town.
Yeah,
Lily's
right.
out
This
of
is trouble.
town.
Trouble.
I forgot that part.
It was one thing that, it was, calling on her birthday. That totally makes sense. And, Lily just happens to be out of town. I was like, dude, you're towing that line.
But that's everybody's responsibility, am I right? Like, he says Lily's out of town. That doesn't mean you say, okay, and just go.
Right.
Because everybody's breaking boundaries at that point, I think. And, that's everybody's fault.
Yes, I mean, it's she shouldn't have gone, and he shouldn't have invited her.
And with this whole time, I was like, this could be fine. This could be, knowing it's not, knowing it's television and it will not be fine.
Right.
But I was like, this could be fine. It is her birthday. Lily being out of town is a coincidence. Like he arranged for her to leave or anything.
Right.
So let's go meet at a bar. Great. They're going to go meet in a public place that they were just hanging out in. It's totally fine. He shows up with pizza and beer. And I was like, you can't bring that beer into the bar. What are you doing? Shall we? And they go somewhere private, this romantic overview of the city. I was like, now you done it. That was the moment I was like, okay, this wasn't just good friends.
No.
When he decided to hang out with her, that's when he did it.
Yeah, it was it. Or even to call.
Because even on your birthday, it's your dirty 30. And birthdays, most people, you're feeling frisky, and this is your ex that you showed up on his doorstep one time and like, hey, surprise. Like, nah, it's not going to be good.
Well, and then they were just kind of sitting there, and he was talking about how he's been waiting to eat pizza. But of course, she was like, she thought he was going to say, I've been waiting to spend time with you forever. And that's obviously wrong.
He shouldn't have said that.
He should not have set her up like that. But,
mean.
But so classic for her to be like, ooh, are we married now?
Well, he brought her to the rooftop.
I know.
Gave her favorite thing on her birthday and said, I've been waiting for this moment. Where do you think that's going to go?
But then, so awkwardly, she asked how the wedding planning's going.
Yes. They're like, what, 2 weeks
I think that was the right
from-
move. Because for her to like remind, hey, this is like, okay, like this isn't a thing. Like I thought she was just trying to like remind him and herself that this is not a romantic date.
There was shade there for sure. She's like, so how's the wedding planning going? Like,
Yeah,
I'm here instead of her, but like, okay, let's talk about it, I guess, because that's what you've got going on. Is that really what you've got going on? I'm here. You
Rob
know?
is definitely shady, and that I felt the shade with that. And also a
well,
reminder.
everything she says has venom and salt to it.
100%.
Yes.
Totally. So he talks about how he had a little bit of cold feet, and then he says, I didn't have any with you. And then I wanted to throw something at the television so that I could just not anymore because it's so hard to watch.
Yeah.
I was like, where's Lily? Lily, come back. Come back, Lily.
That's the other thing.
Because
Like,
your man is cutting up.
For sure.
Mac is cutting up.
And she proved that she was a stand-up lady
Yes.
at the party before when they had first met. Like, she was not in this to do anything wrong or to like be anybody. In fact, she was trying to bring it together to not be so bad. And so for him to do that to her is just like a double-edged sword for a really nice human that you supposedly know and love.
And Mac and Rob, they are playing with fire. And when you play
100%.
with fire, what happens?
Burned it.
Yes.
So
Yeah. No, he definitely ignited that.
totally. So you want to talk about the song that came on
Oh,
in
yes.
the middle of their little romantic pizza party?
That was The Roots and Erykah Badu. You got me. Yes, that is a beautiful hip hop classic with those Erykah Badu vibes. Very sexy and sensual, and talking about this romantic relationship in Paris abroad.
Exactly.
So it's just very it was perfect for that episode and for that setting.
Yeah, he was setting a mood. They were setting a total mood. And
Yeah.
then she drops a bomb because she admitted that she had cheated on the night that they got engaged.
Yes, I'll say, uh-oh.
Yeah. No, major. Like,
He was... There's been so much going on as far as flashbacks go and what's been happening when that I didn't even realize that he didn't know that or even
Same.
that 100% that happened. It was just kind of confusing when she just outwardly said it. I was trying to think about the moment because those flashbacks of the engagement night were kind of all over the place in those
and
episodes.
keep in mind, she set us up from like the very beginning of this series in the top 5 breakups. And
Yeah.
so when you find out that like the biggest breakup was actually her own fault,
Yeah.
you know, like you're like, oh, I felt like we had been betrayed.
Yeah.
Just, like clearly not the severity that Mac was, but
Sure.
that exact same feeling of like, wait a minute, did I miss something? When did this happen?
Yeah.
But I've always had this impression of this is how it went down, and now you're telling me this is actually why. Like I related to that as a viewer.
Yeah.
Because yes, she absolutely sold their relationship falling apart as him. Mhm.
And so we get to the point where he just like, he loses it. He can't talk anymore. So he walks out. He turns off Erykah Badu.
Off now.
Mood cancel.
Is over. No more Erykah Badu. And then she chases behind him and he, you know, just lays out what anybody would. Like, I can't, but like, you're the most selfish person in the entire world. And she is. This
Yes.
whole time, that's all. If there's one thing that we've known for sure is that she is selfish.
Very selfish, and that has been the theme for Rob's character. And like you said, we've felt like as viewers that we've been duped. Like we're rooting for her, and well, not in all her craziness, but you know, we think that, you know, Mac is the reason behind the breakup. No, it's her. She cheated. I mean, the night that your fiance is about to propose, you go out, get hammered, you cheat, and then go back and kiss. Like I'll just say, oh no, Rob, just very problematic behavior, and I'm not here for it.
You don't want to be a part of it. We don't need to be associated with said behavior. So the next little bit of time, we watch her kind of make and receive phone calls. Now, we don't know who for sure these phone calls are until the people actually show up. Yes. So the first one is when she is locked out of her apartment. So she's locked out of her apartment, she's drinking a beer, and she calls someone and says, "Hey, do you still have my spare key?" Who did you think it was? Or did you know?
I think I thought it was Mac.
Okay.
And I thought maybe he probably would say he didn't have it or no, but out of all the people, Mac.
Okay.
I initially assumed it was Clyde because he's the person she calls to bail her out of trouble or solve her problems. But I've been in Rob's situation once, and so I was like, oh, you know what would be the worst thing is having to call the person you just broke up with. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be, and this is just me always wanting to Charisse to just be in the show. So I was like, okay, maybe she called Charisse and maybe she watched her plants or something. Sometime she still has a spare key and Charisse is going to come over and give her some tough love.
Trina is rooting for Charisse.
Man, so hard.
That would have been the responsible thing to do.
A very responsible moment, and it would have given a lot to maybe learn a thing or two about what you're up to and what you're doing to people. Because her and Simon are always the ones that get her out of these things. So I was hoping that maybe it would turn that way. I was very wrong. It was Mac. So super wrong. He shows up, but he didn't show up mad.
He did not. It was. Now I must say that was a very sexy moment. In the show.
No, the way he walked up, it was sexy.
Oh, I mean, look at him. Fine. He's gonna strut no matter what, and it's gonna look great. But I was expecting anger. But then I was like, well, if he's going to answer the phone, there's not going to be anger. He is very willing to do whatever she needs based on whatever he's feeling at that moment.
He's had time to think about it. And he's bringing over that key, doing her a favor. So the fact that he showed up, I was like, nah, he's not going to be mad. He's doing her a favor. And they connected with those eyes. And I was like, okay, well, I don't condone cheating. No. However, at that moment, I was like, okay, well, he can come up for a little bit.
Just
sorry, Lily.
Made sense.
So
why?
Sad, though.
Why? Hearing what he just heard, that he was cheated on during a wedding proposal, why would you cheat on someone during the engagement? It's almost the same thing. Why?
Well, it was so selfish on his behalf because he's cheating in the way of it was clear that they were going to have their goodbye. I didn't feel like he was going to go upstairs. I felt like it was going to be some closure. And to cheat for closure, what a waste.
Uh-oh.
Why would you do that?
No judging.
But if you're going to cheat, then, and you don't want to be with the person,
right.
I guess there are levels of how bad cheating is. It's really bad, but either way, that to me didn't have to
I see what you're saying, because it's one thing to cheat on someone knowing that relationship will end, but to cheat on someone knowing you're going to go right back and marry them in 2 weeks,
and for no reason,
is that?
Just no purpose at all. So
drama.
Much anger.
She loves the drama. And
I'm
not here for it.
We know. Kenneth doesn't want your drama, Rob.
It's great television.
So we get into the next episode, basically, and her brother storms into the record shop and starts swearing at her, basically telling her that she's awful because he has just found out the way that they broke up, because he, like all of us, thought it was him and he had stopped talking to him. This was some sort of wake-up call for her, I think. What do you guys think?
Yeah, she sold a lie to everyone in her immediate circle, which probably enveloped a lot of his immediate circles. There's going to be people who are tied to both of them. Yeah. And she messed with their trust of Mac and their relationships.
Yeah.
So she cheated on all of them.
Us.
And she cheated on the other viewers. Yeah. She cheated on everybody. Yeah. Rob is a cheater.
Whoa.
So, yeah, I mean, it was justified. Her brother was betrayed.
Yeah. And it was not good. Not good, guys. Okay. So let's get into the magical number of the season, 9%. So we also, at the top of this episode, she's still calling someone and leaving voicemails that we don't know who they are. We can guess that it's Clyde, but we don't really know. They're not telling us.
Right.
So she Oh wait, but before that, Lily.
Oh, right. How could I forget?
Sorry, guys.
Lily shows
Lost
up.
this part.
Yeah, because word got out about her cheating, and everyone
Lily showed up outside the record store.
came.
Lily
But-
pulled up.
She
Lily
pulled
pulled
hard.
up.
But the best part, obviously, is when Charisse came
Yes.
in and had her back and was like, "What is going on here? I just want you to know that I do not mess around.
Yes,
So you better not be doing what you're about to try to be doing.
baby girl, let her know.
Stop it." But
But Lily showed up though.
She did.
Lily was like,
yeah, she didn't say much.
that's my Mac.
Yeah, done. But
Back off my Mac.
exactly. But she let her know that she knew and to knock
Yeah.
it off.
Yes, because she was not playing with her.
No.
Rob,
And neither is Kenneth Robb.
Nope.
Nobody's playing with you.
we're not. What up? Shout out to Lily.
Okay, so she makes another call to said person, and then she receives a call, and the baby's here, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, the baby.
Something good finally happens.
Yes.
What did you guys think? What do we think about this change in the vibes of this season, basically?
Well, this was such a monumental thing to just put everything else on pause.
Yeah.
Right. And it's Auntie Rob now. So now she has someone else to maybe focus her energy on.
Someone
and-
else's life to ruin.
Exactly. I was going to say,
No, not the baby.
impart her flawless advice to. Great.
No, she'll be a good auntie.
Well, we hope so. It was baby was very cute. They were very happy. And it was nice to see that scene after the previous meltdown of her brother, some cocaine
Coke,
fighting stuff was happening.
It
So
was like Fight Club.
Yeah. It was very nice to see just a little happy family and that he kind of chilled out and saw his baby and they were all there together. And I think hopefully it was an aha moment for Rob, maybe. What do you
I
guys think?
think it told everybody, like Jackson especially because it's his child,
Yeah.
but Rob as well because she was there.
Yeah.
Like there are things that are more important.
For sure.
You know, this is clearly one of them, but the whole wider lesson is whatever nonsense y'all been doing, there are things that are more important.
Exactly. So we get to Rob calling someone over and over, and then she says in the voicemail, "I'm just coming." So she shows up
Yeah.
and rings a little door, and it is Clyde.
Yes.
He's pissed.
Oh yes. That is, finally we are here for that behavior.
Yeah, finally, he very much does not want her there.
This was the episode of everybody telling her off
Yeah.
and what she needed to hear. So I'm glad he said what he had to say
Yeah.
and left her on 9%. That was just like
That
that hit me. That was a low blow.
Even with everyone telling her off, he's still like the only one who's kind of like holding her accountable or not letting her get away with it. You know, because Lily kind of had to back down. The brother, like I said, all is swept under the rug for the moment. So she kind of just got off easy with a lot of these people, but not with Clyde.
him. She started trying to make him want to do it. She tried
Right.
to convince him, and he said, "I don't care,"
Yes.
straight up. And then,
Love
or
it.
"I don't think I care."
Yeah.
Or "I don't think I want to." And she was like, "Well, you don't think. That
Maybe
means
you don't
maybe you
know."
will." And she was perky for the one time, all 10 episodes, that she
Yes.
perked up a little bit. And then she asked the chances, and he gave that 9%. And then she just kind of settled at the end. She knew that it hurt, but she said, I can live with that. 9% is a percentage.
Yes. She's hopeful. And that was the hope
It's not
that
even a clean fraction, guys. It's just
What do you think, though? Do you think that 9%? What does that number mean to you too?
to me the 9% is just 9% of her just continuing on with her life and moving on and moving forward. So like not necessarily establishing a relationship with Clyde, but just kind of starting fresh and letting go of Mac, because Mac was on the other side of the rock with Lily. They showed him, so it looks like they're going off into bliss.
That just made me sad. I almost cried.
When they walk, I was like, oh, look at. But Lily, look, she was holding on to her man. She was.
Oh yeah, she's holding on tight. She's not letting. They're not going anywhere apart anymore.
Because she will pull up
Yeah.
at the end of the shot and give it to Rob.
Yeah.
But no, I think that 9% was just like, you know what? Let me just start off fresh. I have a niece. just new beginnings.
Keep it moving.
And let's just keep it moving with my 9% battery power on my life.
I don't think so. I completely disagree.
He's not here for it. He's like,
right.
no.
No,
Let's
like
do it.
that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be
Yes.
great if season 2 is Rob getting it together and turning her life around.
But-
I think it was 9%. I'll work with that. Like, I feel like she's just gonna cling on to that 9% and milk it for all it's worth and do everything she can to raise that number up. So I feel like season 2 is just gonna be like, if season 1 was all about her clinging to Mac and that past relationship, season 2 is about her gonna be clinging on to this past relationship.
Woo, words spoken. Well, we will get into predictions in a little bit. But first, we've got a really fun special segment. We're going to do our last playlist of season 1 for the after show. Kenneth, take it away.
So now that we have this 9%, we're focusing on this me
The positive
time.
9%,
Yes,
not my version.
The positive 9%.
Exactly.
We're going to focus on that me time. So we're creating a me time playlist. So what song would you have on your me time playlist?
I think my obvious answer would be Robin's Dancing on My Own.
Okay.
Got to throw in some BTS. So BTS Love Myself. And yeah, just upbeat stuff that's fun that you can walk the streets and be down with being alone and down with being yourself and not having to trick yourself that it's okay. It's just truly being okay.
Yeah, it's got to be an up mix. Absolutely.
Exactly.
So my favorite up mix always starts with Jimmy Eat World's Sweetness. Yeah.
Whoa.
Just like feel good vibes,
Yeah.
blast it as hard as you can.
Good one.
I'd bring it down a scotch with Mr. Blue Sky from ELO.
What is that?
Oh my God, you guys, Mr. Blue Sky.
This is me just wanting you to sing again on the show.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why
There
you
you go.
gotta shy away for so long, so long. Tell me where did we go wrong? It's very upbeat, fun, sunny. Obviously, Mr. Blue Sky. And
knew
then
the song,
I
I
would
just
crank
wanted you
it.
to sing.
So I bring it down to like 9 or 10 for that, and then I crank it right back up to 11 with Queen's "Don't Stop Me Now."
No, don't.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
All right, I'll just throw in one R&B joint to the mix. I'll throw in Beyonce, Me, Myself, and I, because that's all you have in the end.
You always
Wow.
have such perfect choices.
It is, yeah. That voice, those choices. Kenneth, killing it. That's
but
a
we
really
don't
good.
like Rob.
So true. But Beyonce, yeah, you got to round it out. Which be first or last? Let's say this. Is she the opener or the closer of the Me Time playlist?
Well,
Tell it to us.
To take it back to Kobe's memorial. She
Oh.
opened that, so I will say she's always the opener.
Always
You
the
have
opener.
to.
Rob said you can't open with Beyonce because then everyone's just gonna keep requesting it all night. You got to close with Beyonce.
I think that's wrong.
That is Rob's advice, though. So you're right. That is
yeah,
wrong.
so
I take
she's
it back.
always wrong. So, and Kenneth would be the right one in the
That's
situation.
true. Okay.
So you
Yep.
are so right. Absolutely. We've got some news, Kevin, about
More or less.
potential. What are people buzzing about season 2?
So the show's only been out for 2 weeks. It's
Yeah.
too soon for anyone to call anything about whether or not there will be a season 2. If that news does drop, it's probably going to be around April. But positive notes. Executive producer Zoe Kravitz definitely wants to keep the show going. She's in love with the
Okay.
character. She's got plenty more to do, and she said that they hadn't pulled every piece of inspiration out of Nick Hornby's book.
Okay.
So they intentionally did that for season 1 so that they could have some room to work with in season 2 and it just not be dragging out the same premise. Showrunner Veronica West, and I thought of you when I found this out. She said that they let me get my notes here together. You know what? Let me hold on that point. So the only thing that's gonna you'll see why I'm holding it.
Yep.
The only thing that's going to keep the show from being announced that they're going to renew it or that it might have a delay is Zoe Kravitz being the executive producer. She's got to be involved, but she's currently involved with the Batman. And that's a big project. So
project.
there might be some delay here.
They come in like
Anyway.
a year anyway. We wait like a year for
Yeah.
these shows
Right.
to come back.
Sometimes 2
Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
well,
long
I mean,
time.
as most television is. Granted, it's
Right.
binge is different,
You
but
binge it,
usually
yeah.
it's a year, a season a year.
Exactly.
Okay, so showrunner Victoria West, she said that they want to keep going with the premise that they've got here, that the next season will most likely be about Rob kind of taking that 9%, you actually called it, and trying to get her life together and become a better person. She has to keep going on this journey. Clyde and Mac will both be there, but they'll be in her life in different forms. There are things with each character they want to do with, and specifically, they want to do the Charisse episode.
I mean,
they had such a great time doing the Simon episode and thought it was so much fun. They didn't do a Charisse episode because they had her story littered throughout the entire season. There were lots of scenes and even some episodes focusing on her journey to want to be a better artist or be an artist. They did not want to give her a romantic relationship and have her journey being about something other than love, which is what every other character had. So, and that's what the focus of the season was. That's why they didn't give her that episode. But they can't not do it now.
No, they have to do it. It's crazy that we didn't get to see her jam session.
So showrunner Veronica West said, quote, she will absolutely get her episode.
Thank you. Yes. Because seriously, but also when we ended, I'm glad she got some shine at the very end of the season. And Rob showed she had some heart, and she sold that David Bowie album to buy Charisse the guitar that she's been trying to buy to get this music off the ground. And when we saw that all unfold kind of in silence, and it was just showing us the world moving, and for once it not revolving around Rob, and then for Charisse to get some glow up and some shine was really, really necessary, I thought.
And we've been calling Rob selfish the entire season. So it's her just really showing that, you know what? And that's why I have that 9% hope for her, just because all these things happening, like I said, especially with the new niece, just new life, just sometimes gives you a different outlook and perspective. But that was just so sweet of her. We finally heard Charisse sing. What did you think about her singing voice?
I thought it was great. And especially since it was just kind of right there in a back room with an electric guitar that wasn't plugged into an amp and just her doing her thing. I thought it was so sweet and so cool.
Yeah.
And it made me probably even more mad that I didn't get to watch her in the studio with the kids.
It was a beautiful interlude, and I wish, we could have got a little bit more.
I'll say this, I'm kind of glad they held on that until that moment, because up until her actually playing the guitar, like even when they presented it to her, I was like, does she know how to play?
Yeah.
Like, is she starting from nothing, or is it going to be her struggling to get out her music?
Yeah.
So if they had shown her working with the tweens or whatever, then that would have kind of spoiled that moment. But so actually her getting to strum the guitar and knowing that I'm fairly certain the actress was doing it herself.
Yeah.
That I was like, like Divine's really playing, she's really singing, and Charisse really is doing this. And I got that sweet moment right at the end.
All right, guys. Well, we're done with season 1 of High Fidelity, guys. The fans, they want to follow you.
It is the end of the road.
Where can they follow you guys?
Instagram and Twitter. Meet Kenneth Ware.
Instagram at Keven Allen Says. Twitter, no. What'd I say? Instagram at Keven Allen Graham. Twitter at Keven Allen Says.
There you go. And you can catch me at Hey Trina Dong on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us all season long for the High Fidelity After Show. We hope to see you for season 2 for that Charisse episode.
Yes. We are rooting for you, Charisse.
Thank you so much.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principal.